going on, Nerds of Color viewers? This is Lauren Lola coming to you with a brand new interview. I am excited to share with you my conversation with Judy I. Judy is a #1 New York Times bestselling author of YA fantasy and horror. Titles of hers include Song of the Six Realms, The Dark Becomes Her, and The Book of Tea Duology. Today I talked to her about her new book, Avatar Legends: City of Echoes. For those who don't know, Avatar Legends is a new series set within the world of Avatar: Last Airbender, and it follows the character Jin, who we see briefly in Tales of Ba Sing Se, as she navigates life living in the lower ring of Ba Sing Se, and her relationship with her friend Susu and her family. However, when Susu's family finds themselves in trouble, Jin swears to her friend that she'll do whatever she can to help, without realizing A, that Susu is tangled in a dark conspiracy, and B, just how much she has to risk as the Fire Nation closes in with the Avatar in the city. It was really cool getting to talk to Judy about how she initially got into the franchise, how this opportunity came up for her, and also what it was like to be writing in a world that's originally known as being in a visual realm, television, to bring it to the world of literature. I'm very excited for you to check out this conversation, and let's get to it. Here is my conversation with Judy I. Can you start off by talking about what your relationship with Avatar: The Last Airbender was like prior to working on City of Echoes?
For me, I came to the Avatar fandom a little bit later. I didn't watch it when I was younger. I think it came out in, not when I was a teen, but like maybe in my 20s. And I've always heard about it, but it wasn't until I was writing the second book of my first fantasy duology, the Like a Magic, Steed and Poison, and a Venom, Dark and Sweet. There is a character who is the banished prince in that book. And then everybody who read like some of my early drafts was like, did you base this on Avatar? Was this inspired by Avatar? And I said, no, and then that really interested me. So that's when I started watching the show, and I just really loved it. So it kind of got me through the pandemic times, and then and I had the opportunity to watch it with my kids and my daughter. She was like at a really good age to enjoy a show like that, so it was really special too to see her connect with the Avatar show, and so that's why I got involved in and became interested in Avatar: The Last Airbender, and then it kind of gradually went from there.
Nice. And you said that this was during, like, around the pandemic, you said?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. I feel like, yeah, that was the time when the franchise was experiencing a bit of a renaissance. It feels like a lot of people became fans of Avatar in 2020.
Mhm.
And with that, my next question is, how did the opportunity to write for the franchise come up for you?
So my editor at Abrams reached out to me and said that there was an opportunity because there were some people who were involved with Avatar Studios who read my books, so that Book of Tea duology, and they really liked it. They liked some of the Chinese influences, and as you know, there's a lot of those influences in Avatar: The Last Airbender. So they thought that it might be a good fit, and that at that time I was still just really loving, and I think I was doing like a rewatch again of the show with my kids, so it was just really fun to connect with it again. So that's where the opportunity came from.
Very cool. Very cool. I previously interviewed FCE and Randy Rebai, who are writers
Mhm.
on Chronicles of the Avatar. And I'm curious, like, did you reach out to them at all to get advice from them as you were approaching this project?
So I actually knew FCE's work from his original series, his original fantasy
Yeah, the
series,
Genie
yeah,
Low series?
Genie Low, and I absolutely loved them when I first read them. So that's why it was really exciting to see that he was also involved with the Avatar books, and I did get a chance to speak with both of them, and of course, yeah, I love their writing. So I did read the books, and I didn't get to read the Roku book when I was writing it because that was still I think that was still coming out. So, but I did read the Kyoshi and the Yenchen books and absolutely loved them. So, more the Kyoshi books than the Yenchen ones, but I there are some influences on City of Echoes. So hopefully the readers who enjoy the earlier books will kind of see those nods in my book.
I mean, that makes sense since the Kyoshi books are set in and around the Earth Kingdom, and
Mhm.
Jin lives in the Earth Kingdom. So, how has your relationship with the franchise changed since writing City of Echoes?
I spent a lot of time, of course, watching the show and just spending a lot of time on, like, of course, the fan made wikis. But I started writing a lot of fan fiction. Like that's how I got started in my own writing career.
Hmm.
So I think a lot of that helped in kind of building my knowing how to do the research and grow connected to a universe that somebody else has created and writing in that. So it definitely I drew upon that to work on the book, and of course, knowing more about the Avatar universe, it made me really appreciate kind of the world building that went into the world, and just I there's always like a fun magic system to have, and it is it definitely ties in like because I mean I work with like a non-visual medium with writing words, and then but seeing that translated from kind of the screen to the avatar book, so that was really fun to play around with, like doing translating something that's such a visual medium to the books was kind of I felt that affected my writing too, and and of course being able to explore that world and that then the lore is was definitely a lot of fun.
When you say that when writing from a medium that's originally visual to writing as a novel, to what extent does it affect your writing? Or if you're able to give an example without spoiling anything.
Because of how Bossing Say was presented in the show, right? You can see that they put in a lot of details in the show of like how to portray how the Earthbenders moved, and kind of the details with the architecture, how the different rings, and then the layout of the city was set up. So, and then just having to transition that to describing it through words in a way that people who come from it from the show would understand. Oh, this is kind of what it relates to within the show, but also like putting my own like things that I found out from my research and putting in those details and imagining kind of if I'm seeing it from Jin's eyes, like what would she notice? Like what would jump out at her as somebody living in Bossing Say. So that was kind of the fun blending of the show with the writing.
You know, City of Echoes is the launch of a new series, Avatar Legends. And I think prior to this, whenever there's like a new comic or a new novel that's set within this franchise, it's either about the Avatar or one of their closest friends or mentors. But Avatar Legends is interesting because it's going to focus on some of the minor characters within the franchise. And you have quite a character to play off of who only appeared in not even a full episode, Tales of Ba Sing Se. So I can imagine it's a dual-edged sword. Like, how did you approach writing this character that is in the show so briefly? And in what ways was it easy for you to work with? And in what ways was it difficult?
So back in my even in my fan fiction days, what I was always interested in was exploring the world and kind of seeing like what I mean, a lot of video games or movies or shows they focus, on those the avatars, like the superheroes, the legendary people who are changing the world. But I always liked imagining like what is it like to live with like people who are superheroes, like, and then you are seeing the effects of like their decisions, but you're showing it from a different side. So that was how I approached writing City of Echoes and why I chose Jin, just because I think she's in such a pivotal moment in the Avatar: The Last Airbender story. And then there were so many things we didn't get to see in Ba Sing Se. Like we didn't get to see what were the after effects of the coup, and kind of like what happened to just the normal citizens that had to live their lives under like Fire Nation rule, right? So that was what I was interested in exploring. Yeah, and that was my hope, in that I could also use it to explore some of the themes that I thought really drew me to just the entire arc of Avatar: The Last Airbender, just about like perseverance and about um, about hope and revolution. So I think that was what I was interested in developing further. And but just seeing it from the lens of somebody who doesn't who isn't the avatar, who isn't as strong, but their lives are definitely changed just because of what the avatar has done.
Yeah, and she doesn't even meet Aang at all. She just
Mhm.
knows of him. Like the closest she's gotten to interacting with Aang is through Zuko.
Zuko, yeah. So, and then that was the thing too, was because I think one of the goals of this new series, from what the Avatar Studios told me, was just to kind of showcase a different side of the Avatar universe, like one of those unsung heroes, right? Those characters that may just appear briefly but are still very meaningful. And I had fun. They gave me actually a lot of freedom to put in a few more characters that were present in Ba Sing Se at the time, and I could imagine them crossing paths with Jin. So that was really fun to play around with and explore. So I can't share unfortunately who the other people who like make an appearance are, but of course Zuko will be there. But there will be some others too who will appear in the book.
I'm kind of tempted to ask, did she see Appa at all when he was lost? But I feel like you're not gonna be able to give me that answer, huh?
Well, she definitely did find the poster, so I can say that. Yeah, so
Okay.
she does encounter the poster that they put up throughout their brief stay in Ba Sing Se. So that's a little detail in the show that I was able to kind of pop into the book.
So what do you hope for readers to take away from City of Echoes?
I just hope that they have fun, just seeing the story through a different perspective, through Jin's perspective. I wanted to kind of put in the same feeling that I had when I was watching the show and talking about it with my daughter, just this really vibrant world, and then and just see people surviving through it all, even though there are some terrible things that happen in the show for sure, but it's all done, I mean, in a very respectful way to the audience, which is kids, and that's what I also always try to keep in mind as well, is that it is a young adult novel. So there, I mean, young adults can definitely experience and read about like maybe a little bit darker themes.
Mm.
But that's what I wanted to keep in mind too, is that I hope that I explore those things about war and about like being a refugee. I hope I explored that like respectfully and and of course dealing with some of those topics. That's what I wanted to discuss in the story, but also once again just have fun with some of those moments too, because it there's always a balance of the light and the dark, I feel, in the show, and then I wanted that to carry that in the books.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think for a lot of Avatar fans, at least for me, I find myself reflecting a lot on the themes and the events portrayed in the show, especially with what's been happening here in the States, especially as of recently. And
Mm-hmm.
I know that you're based in Canada, so it doesn't affect you as directly as it's affecting someone like me, but like, I don't know, what are your thoughts about releasing this book in this time and place we're in?
But I feel like it's a little bit sad that I mean the show did celebrate like a 20-year anniversary
Hmm.
this year, and we're still talking about genocide and revolutions and a lot of these really sad like realities that people have to deal with day to day. So I feel like it's a relevant story to our times, but I'm hoping that for those, and I hope this with for everybody who picks up my books, is that it does show, that light at the end of the tunnel, right? That there's the this shouldn't be a spoiler, isn't that like good always triumphs over evil, and then that there is that people like people who are like you and me, that you don't have to be an avatar, you don't have to be a superhero, but still to stand up for what's right, standing up for what you believe in.
Yeah, absolutely. And the fact that, we're going to have a character like Jin to see that struggle through the eyes up, I think makes it even more poignant. And speaking of the light at the end of the tunnel, I did want to cap off on a lighter note, which is what's your favorite episode and character from both Avatar: The Last Airbender and The Legend of Korra?
I feel like it would still be probably be cheating to say that it is Jin, right? Because
I don't think
that's
it's
what
cheating.
I was just really drawn to her. Like when I first watched, like I mean the Earth season was always my favorite. Like I love Bossing Say when they're first shown, and then even that little bit that's shown of Jin, she just really stood out to me as somebody who is like a bit of a romantic, right? And maybe a little bit naive, but I think she she pursued what she wanted, and she kind of showed Zuko a little bit of kindness in a time that he really needed it,
Hmm.
and made him maybe feel normal for a moment there. So I just thought that she was really a fun character. So I'm just really happy that I got a chance to write her story. Admittedly, have not finished watching Korra, so I don't
How,
have a favorite character yet, but
how
yeah,
far
so
are
I'm a
you in the
couple of
series?
I'm I'm almost done, I think, the first season,
Okay.
and then so I'm just waiting for a time for my daughter to catch up on it. So but I'm looking forward to watching it over the next little bit here.
Okay, well, let me ask this then. Is there a character from Korra who stands out to you so far? And if so, who is it?
Probably also cheating, but I just I like I really liked Cora, like that I just thought that she was such an interesting character, and then knowing what came before, right, and
Hmm.
seeing how she developed, like they just wrote her so like she's so different,
Hmm.
right, from Aang's like kind of journey and how he started off, but and then of course I'm always a lover of world building, and just seeing like how it's changed and how it's like affected her as as an avatar, and even just as a person, and how she deals with that, and I think it's just because knowing, like, having been in the minds of all the avatars before, because of reading through the books, it just made me very sympathetic to like all the challenges that she has to deal with, even in the few episodes that I've seen. So yeah, I'm excited to see like what happens to her and what results from that.
I feel like that's something that I've heard complaints about online that for those who are like very anti-Korra for whatever reason, it's like, oh, she's too
Mhm.
different. She's not like Aang. She's literally a different person with
Yeah,
struggles unique to her own. And she lives in a different time period too.
different time.
So
Yeah,
with different expectations. So it's like you really cannot compare the two, no matter how hard you try.
yeah. No, that I definitely agree with it, and I think it was. We love like the world that was set up in Avatar: The Last Airbender, but then in Chorus, like I actually love that they did this like huge pivot, right? That it's
Hmm.
like it's the same, but it's like so far advanced, like that the technology they see, and then what would happen, right? Like how would that change the people, and also like what is expected of an avatar. So that's why I'm very excited once again about the new show that we're promised, right? Like
Hmm.
how will they change the lore? How will they change the avatar and what they're facing for that series? So that's what yeah, I'm excited about that as well, that we have something like that to look forward to.
Same. I cannot wait to see what they do different this time for sure.
Mhm.
Is there anything else that you want to add to Judy before we wrap up? Anything that I haven't asked about?
Okay. No, I'm just excited for people to, yeah, to hopefully pick up the book, and then hopefully they will enjoy my take on Jin's story. Yeah.
Great.
Lectures, fanboys, professional artists, and professors. Maybe a nerd who's just like you, talking about the things that you like too. So I invite you to the NOC. In full color, you see me. The hard knock